Okay, Mega team, welcome back to our channel. Thanks for tuning into another video. Today's video is going to be a Bitcoin update. We're going to be taking a look at the chart and doing a quick analysis, talking about where we think the price will actually be bottoming out. Now, as you see on the screen over here, this is our original prediction. We have in fact actually come down and reached that. And we did it about 3 weeks sooner than anticipated, but sooner is always better than later. So, in that being saying, we're going to go ahead and take a look at a few charts today. We're going to start with our macro. And I've been telling you guys and all the subscribers to this channel, you would have heard me say this already, that this chart here is the most important chart in cryptocurrency at the moment and has been the most important chart in cryptocurrency for the last 9 years. And I personally have utilized this exact chart for the last couple of years when I've been calculating macro moves of Bitcoin. And it has held and stood the test of time. It is incredibly accurate, incredibly resourceful, and it is telling in the sense that it can tell us exactly where the price will be heading and where we can expect to be heading. So, first and foremost, a few things I do want to point out. Number one, which is we have reached the critical support zone of that 200-day moving average. And we've seen that happen here now, we've seen it happen here, we've seen it happen twice down over here, and we of course have seen it multiple times down over here in 2014. Now, this is where it gets a little bit hairy. We do not expect Bitcoin to bottom out on the 200 on the daily, on the weekly, yes, but we do expect Bitcoin to drop lower, a little bit lower before we find that bottom, then push upwards and make a nice solid weekly base. All right, so where do we think Bitcoin could go on that daily, on that 3-4 day chart? We think Bitcoin could definitely head down into this gray box. And the reason I say that is because every time the price has reached a 200, while being above this dotted line, we have then shot back upwards. Every single time the price drops below the dotted line before reaching a 200-day moving average, it ultimately ends up back down as this solid black line. All right, it's happened now at least 2 or 3 times on the chart, or 2 times that we can see over here. All right, so every time we lose this before we reach the 200, we end up back at the dotted trend line, back at a solid trend line. So we have to assume 2 times is a pattern. It's going to happen a 3rd time. We have now retested this 200-day moving average, but we retested it after we lost the dotted trend line. That leads me to believe the true bottom for Bitcoin will occur within this gray box, or at least on this solid trend line. Now, I predict this will happen sooner than later. It will happen this year sometime. And the price range that currently, if we go ahead and draw a vertical line down, it'll be sitting at around 16,000. Of course, it's not just going to tank down tomorrow, not just going to tank down the next day after tomorrow. It will take a while, a couple of weeks maybe. And thus, I think the prediction around $18,000 puts us around the 1st of August. It could definitely happen a little bit, give or take, sooner and earlier. I think I did mention in my VIP and on Telegram that I do expect a possible scam wick down below this trend line, just to shake everyone in the market, because we are in a global recession, just to look a bit hairy before we shoot back upwards. In saying that, that is what I think is going to happen. Now, bull market targets, of course, we use the same chart, guys. So the bull market, again, is going to start once Bitcoin crosses this upper trend line, and it will be parabolic. I personally think we have one more parabolic bull run for cryptocurrency space before diminishing returns kind of hammers it all down. I think we can go higher. I think it will take a lot of time to recover from this. This has been a pretty significant drop, but like I've been saying for the last few weeks, we are closer to the bottom than we are to the top, meaning we're further through the majority of this drop than you think we are. We are closer to the bottom than you think. And this is I would say in assumption that this holds true and doesn't break, because we've had a few questions people ask us a few questions saying, you know, Mega, what happens if we lose this trend line? Where can we go? And if we do lose this trend line, you can see 15,000, 12,000, 10,000 major support zones. The problem is, if we lose this trend line, we're losing 9 years of data. We're losing a 9-year trend line. Who knows what's going to happen to Bitcoin next if we lose this level? We don't know. We don't know. And we're not going to try to speculate. It doesn't matter. But a lot of people out there are saying, oh, Bitcoin's going to bottom at 14,000, or Bitcoin's going to bottom at 10,000. These people clearly don't understand the depth of what they're saying. They don't understand what it means on a macro scale, because if that actually occurs on a macro scale, that's pretty damaging for cryptocurrency. It's pretty damaging for Bitcoin, and chances are it's going to take a whole lot longer to recover than we would hope. while Bitcoin remains in this channel, even though it's a very, very large, very broad channel, we still have a macro trend. We still have a macro pattern. And as long as a macro pattern exists, we can expect cycles to occur. We can expect swings up and we can expect swings down. When the macro pattern breaks, we have to create a whole new pattern, a whole new macro chart, which takes a long time. So don't be too bearish. Don't expect $10,000, and also don't expect to catch the bottom. I'd be looking to put orders in, and I'm going to go ahead and show you after a quick Bitget ad exactly where you should be looking to buy. I wanted to quickly introduce my new favorite exchange, Bitget. Bitget is a non-KYC exchange, which is particularly beneficial for members in the UK and Australia who are limited by certain trade restrictions. Bitget has 250 plus spot trading pairs, as well as 60 plus leverage trading pairs, up to 125x leverage. Sign up now in the link in the description using our referral code to get up to $153 in rewards for completing 4 separate tasks. Let's go ahead and dive back into the video. Okay, so we posted this chart the other day talking about buying zones for Bitcoin, and of course we've got this chart over here. So first and foremost, major buy zone will be between 18,000 to 21,000. This is where we're looking to really enter in on Bitcoin, dollar cost to average a position in, purchase some Bitcoin there, and hope that it bounces from this range. Of course, if we lose this range, you can see we're in for a pretty significant drop, because as we just showed you on that macro chart, 18,000 is a very major support. And if we lose our support, we're going to fill a huge gap in the market, which could definitely take us down to $12,000. So be very careful there, but I'd be looking for a bounce over here. But like I just said, if we do lose this, we head down to 12,000, that'll be the next target. If we actually lose 18,000, 12,000 is that next target. So moving upwards, say you don't catch the bottom, say it bounces, say you just don't buy over here. Your next entry will be a weak buying point upon the break of $28,000. That would be expected target of around 32,000. Of course, if we break 32,000, we expect a target of 36 to 37. And as we've talked about for months, if we do break 36, 37, we do expect a move back upwards to 48. And finally, if we break $48,000, that is when the bull market should commence or start for Bitcoin, not for altcoins. Altcoins bull market starts at a different time, but for Bitcoin, that is when the rally should really start going, right? Obviously, we clear this high over here, we clear this major zone of resistance throughout the rest of the chart, obviously being a lot of support and resistance in this zone we can see over here, all right? Very simple, guys. I don't want to overcomplicate it today. Keep it very simple. If you're looking to enter the market here, and when I say enter the market, I don't say go 100% all in. Never go 100% all in. Maybe 20, 30%, and then leave the rest on the side to either leverage your position, increase your position, or if it drops down, you can sell out with a smaller loss. All right, because at the end of the day, guys, we can only go off historical data. The data tells us that the bottom should occur over here. We shouldn't drop lower, but if we do drop lower, then we should be looking to sell. Okay, it is really as simple as that. Let's take a look at the short term for Bitcoin. So the short term is actually looking pretty promising for now, at least. We are maintaining above this large support line. Of course, this is the problem. If we do lose this support line, this black solid trend line, we should theoretically be heading back downwards. And we'll be heading back down towards this dotted trend line. I'm going to go ahead and show you on the daily what that looks like. On the daily, this dotted trend line lines up to around this point over here. So if we do lose that level, the dotted trend line is the next target, and this could take us anywhere to around $16,500 to $18,000. So this level here, we lose that, we're going to be going down to about 16,500 to 18,000. There's our scam wick pushing back upwards and continuing upwards. Keep in mind there's a possibility. I don't think the majority of the drop, I don't think the drop is over. I definitely don't think the drop is just getting started. The drop's been going on for months, but I think the drop is nearing the end and we should be acting accordingly. So Bitcoin dominance is of course crashing massively, and it got over that major resistance zone like we've seen a few other times over here. Failed to hold in. We do have a support zone down over here for Bitcoin dominance. And of course, if Bitcoin dominance continues to fall, altcoins will bleed less. And all this is telling us is, well, of course, everything's bleeding here, but altcoins are bleeding slightly less in comparison to what Bitcoin is bleeding at the moment, which is good for altcoins, of course, but overall, altcoins are still getting wrecked, so it doesn't really make a difference. And DXY is pushing upwards, obviously, with anticipated interest rate hike in the next few hours even. I think, I'm not too sure when it is, it's pretty soon, maybe in a day, 24 hours. This will most likely continue upwards. So it'll be interesting to see what happens, guys. And I guess stay tuned to the channel, keep updated, and play it safe. You don't have to be investing massive amounts now. I always say to people that if you're not confident, don't invest. wait until the reversal. Sometimes waiting for the reversal is the best time. And I'm going to go ahead and go back to this chart. And your biggest entries, I'm going to say it again, your most aggressive entries, and this is really important, your most aggressive entries and biggest purchases should occur over here. When we have this break of the macro downtrend, that is when your largest and most aggressive play should occur, not down over here. Even though this is a macro bottom predicted by our large 9-year trend line, even though this is a potential macro bottom, we are still technically in a downtrend, we're in a recession, your big entries should occur here, all right? This is your second largest. This is your largest, okay? Keep it nice and simple, trade with the trend, trade with proper risk management, and you can never really lose. Okay, guys, I'll catch you in the next video.